All right, so here's a quick guide on how to get started with making some passive income. It's going to be based on my personal experiences, and I'm going to actually show you guys some of my numbers. They're not very big at all, but at the very least, it's a place to get started. So let's go ahead and get to the numbers first, actually. So this guide is going to be basically how to make online courses, but I guess right now for me, in to give some background and context, I primarily have made passive income using Skillshare as the platform where I place my online courses. That is not the best way to actually do it, but it is a very, very good starting point in terms of practicing how to make online courses. But it doesn't really help you with a lot of the other aspects. Like, it doesn't help you practice sales and marketing, which is probably or arguably more important. But let's get into, I guess, what you will learn for Skillshare. So right now, I have like the outline of what you will need to do, but let's go ahead and get into the numbers real quick. So this month was very, very little, and you can actually see the total amounts I've earned. I think I've been on Skillshare for like 2 to 3 years at this point. So this is like very, very little, basically. Um, let's say 3 years. Let's say I've been on Skillshare for 3 years, and we just divide this by three. That's basically 5,000 a year. And then if you were to divide that by, let's say, 10, it's maybe like 400 to 500 a month is what I got. And you can actually see I started, oh, right here. I've started 4 years ago, so even longer, but towards the middle. And I didn't really do much, I'd say, until September of that time. So you can, actually haven't seen these numbers in a very long time, but you can see right here how much I earned per month, basically. So it's 300, 300. That was the average back then. And this is when I had like maybe two classes, 2 to 3 classes. And I think around this point is when I created the Adobe Audition course. I made one on how to edit audio. And then I also made one on how to like what microphone to pick and whatnot. And those two got like staff picks. And that's probably why I ended up getting here, because I got featured in Skillshare's newsletter at some point because I made a class that they liked. And again, a lot of this is somewhat passive. You sort of just do the work up front, right? You create the classes. And then from there, I did like basically nothing. I didn't really market myself, which, if you want to get more money, you probably should. But this is, I think, the highest amount I actually got. Yeah, looks like the highest amount. And then from there, it just went back down. So if we were to keep going, eventually it went back up to 800. I think these times might also be like when I'm releasing a class, because you kind of have to release one, I think, once every 6 months or so if you want to like get some, like, there's like a Slack group as well as like just groups, I guess. And then they have like some benefits, like you're allowed to participate in like publishing challenges and whatnot. And then at a certain point, oh, look, 848. That's cool. Oh, that's because of a referral. I see. Like, somebody used my Skillshare link to basically sign up for the membership, and that's why I got extra. And also at a certain point, I became a top teacher. That basically, if you make a lot of good classes, they'll eventually invite you to the group of top teacher, and you can earn an extra, like, basically 250 if you get a review that month. So like, you can see that I didn't get a review this month, so I didn't get the extra 250, and I didn't get a review this month either, so I didn't get the extra 250. But the extra 250 definitely makes a really big difference for me. Because without it, it's basically like I'm making half the amount. So, and again, if I wanted to optimize this, I would be like making a lot of content related to my Skillshare classes, and all my classes are basically like how to edit in Adobe Audition, how to edit in Adobe Premiere, stuff that you kind of need actually if you want to create an online course. So brainstorming a course topic, and it's very easy to do that. Skillshare themselves have like a in-demand topics list where you can just like go over what people want to see. Like for instance, for creative career, you can talk about branding, Etsy, Instagram, LinkedIn, art and illustration, talk about like how to use Procreate, watercoloring, drawing, illustration, Adobe Illustrator, film and video, talk about After Effects, film, YouTube, DaVinci Resolve. Like it gives you like ideas of what your topics should be. And then you want to outline your course, script it. I also have a class about scripting, but basically, you just write as concisely as possible what are the instructions of how to get someone from point A to B. And then for me, I create a voiceover. I usually do either voiceover or like voiceover while I'm like showing them what's going on for the screen, and then filming. I usually film myself talking to the camera like this, and then I edit it all together, and then publishing. And then step 8 is marketing if you actually want to make more from your course, which is a step I basically never do. So I promotion and marketing and sales and stuff like that, that's like a step I really, really need to actually start doing. But this is basically what you can get away with zero marketing if you're like teaching decent classes on Skillshare with decent quality, like an average of 400 to 500 a month or so after, I guess, a year or two. Let's see, how long did it take me to get to, I think less than a year to get to 800, but also like the way they paid back then was also slightly different. I'd say they pay slightly lesser these days. So it would be harder to get to this point, I'd say, today than back then. But yeah, I got to the average of around like 400 to 500 in probably about a year. So, and I have a total of about, I think, 10 classes on Skillshare. Let me actually check. Just find myself real quick. Okay, you can see his top teacher right there, and you can see my classes right here. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Okay. It's 12 classes. Some of these are really short also. Like this one's 8 minutes on just how to archive your photos and videos, basically. So, and I think it counts towards the 6-month quota. So that's very nice. Yeah, but these are all my classes, and honestly, a lot of this is just practice, like a lot of good practice of just like creating a course itself. And then for me in the future, I'm going to create a more like premium course based around like other skills like piano and like self-improvement, a little less, I guess, the same stuff as Skillshare, because I don't want to like, eventually I'll probably make better guides actually to all of these things, because I have way more experience now compared to when I made like this Adobe Audition course, I think like 3 years ago. So my ability to use Adobe Audition has improved a lot actually since then. So I could easily make a better course now, but it's still a good idea because a lot of people found this course to be useful. Same with the microphone course. Like I got really nice reviews and comments from people saying like, oh, they learned more from my class than in like school, which is kind of crazy, but very nice comments. Anyways, so yeah, these are the numbers, and basically without the top teacher thing, I'd be earning very little. So I guess that's what you can expect if you've done exactly what I did for Skillshare, and you don't really promote yourself very often. Because I think I've made like 2 or 3 videos about talking about Skillshare, or like talking about, check out my Skillshare class, like videos dedicated to that. I think outside of that, maybe a few more videos where I say hey, if you want to learn this, check out my Skillshare class. But like I barely say that like ever. And it's not a good thing that I don't say that ever. I probably should say that more, but I guess I just forget to say it. Or I don't really feel like, I think what it is I don't feel like super proud of any of my classes. I feel like they are useful, but they're, they aren't like, they aren't the premium quality I would want for when I create it in the future and like sell a higher priced course. But if you think about it, like let's say a few months ago, I didn't get a review. So right here, I only got $160. Let's say I actually took a lot of time and spent it towards making a really premium course. And then I sold that premium course for like a few hundred, like let's just say $300 to $400. If I could sell it to one person in that month, then I would earn more than I did for being on Skillshare for 4 years with 12 classes. Actually, I just released the class, so 11 classes. So yeah, that's that's something. But the month before that was 500. So I guess like sell that premium course to 2 people in that month, like learn how to actually do marketing and sales, and then you would get more than being on Skillshare for about 4 years and not doing any marketing. Of course, if I were to do marketing for my Skillshare classes, this number would be higher, but you might as well use it for your own like premium courses instead. But again, the reason why I'm talking about any of this in the first place is because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably have never done this before. And that's why my classes have a lot of guides for video scripting as well as editing and as well as audio, because audio is very important, and filming yourself as well. So there's a lot of things that you can learn from my classes. So definitely check it out and try out Skillshare as sort of like a practice grounds is how I would approach it if I were to like basically start over. Because you're not going to make like an amazing premium online course to begin with, unless you're outsourcing it to professionals. Like unless you have like, you're hiring a very professional editor, videographer or cinematographer or whatever, depending on what you're making. Unless you're doing that, then you probably need practice, and Skillshare is a great place to do that, to practice. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for how I would approach making, or like initially making, passive income, because the ultimate goal is to create that more premium course. And the only difference between, the courses I made on Skillshare and the premium one is effort, because I have all the skills now to make a premium course. I just need to like put in the time and effort to do so, because I understand lighting, I understand like filming with a good camera, having the equipment, I know how to use the equipment, I know lighting, I know editing, I just don't like doing it. And then everything's there, right? My skills have improved because I've created a lot of these courses over time. Now it's time for me to actually like create a premium course and like sell it, and market it and create a sales video and learn how to do email marketing and all that stuff that I've been putting off for a very long time. But I just wanted to make this video because it was on my list of things to do, and I feel like it could be useful for people who are starting out. Yeah, that's how I would approach it. Just practice first, and then once you feel like you have the confidence and skill to make that premium course, make it, and then I guess the practice turns into like the marketing aspect, and at least you have a product that you can practice with, like a product that you feel proud of and that like you want people to actually buy and you believe in it, So yeah, that's my approach right now. So hopefully things go well, and once that happens and I hopefully make way more money, and way more money in terms of passive income too, I can create a better guide. But for now, this is what I got. This is based on my own experience, and let me know if you have any questions down below. I'm happy to answer anything that I know. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.